Great. That's fun.
Welcome, everybody. And I have Eric and Cody. You guys go ahead and introduce yourself. And we're going to be talking about 1490 Doom mostly. And then we'll get into a little bit of the Carnivore game film. But yeah, go ahead and introduce yourselves. They're in Utah, so they're just waking up. So
Especially
go ahead, Eric.
I'll go for. I'm Eric Robertson. I thought of 1490 Doom in my basement while I was making a castle one day, a piece of terrain, and now I'm a co-founder of Buer Games with Cody.
I'm Cody Taylor, the other half of Buer Games, and me and Eric were just crazy and harebrained enough to, throw ourselves at this wall and see if we can make a dream happen. And here we are.
So I remember watching, I think it was an interview or you guys talking on your videos, that this was kind of a brainchild. Y'all been at a convention and you're driving back. And I think, Eric, you had this crazy thought of spacemen and knights or something, that you always wanted to do that. And it's classic. It's amazing what you solve driving back from a convention, especially like when I was up to Adepticon. I mean, it's a 16-hour drive, so we solved world hunger 2 or 3 times on drives back. That's pretty cool that you came up with this idea. And tell me more how that happened, though. I mean,
well, Cody's been in this world longer than I have. I got into it deeper during COVID and started building terrain and stuff. But how the genesis of 1490 Doom is, we were coming back from the last Chicago Adepticon, and Cody has been running some Inc. 28 events and custom worlds that he's built, and he's built a cool community around it. But I think he asked me what would I want to build, and I didn't know right off the bat. But a month later, or I can't remember how soon after he asked me that, I was down building a castle in my basement, just listening to some cool music or something. I don't remember, but I always have loved retrofuturism and then anything medieval. Those two really just are my bread and butter. I really, really love those worlds. And so I was just down there making this castle and thinking, how could I get a space helmet on a medieval knight? I think that would be a really cool aesthetic, like a bubble helmet. It didn't turn out exactly that way, but Cody helped me tweak the concept and the gameplay and all the development, but that was the genesis of 1490 Doom. So we have these like weird medieval freak guys with breathing apparatuses and these helmets running around trying to stave off the creeping death. There you go.
There's one. Here's another one. Of course, that's the knight. He's going to have a helmet.
That's one of my favorites.
The executioner.
You can see. You know what I love about this? I think Cody came up with the idea of like, see the breathing tube. Those are intestines. Those are like a pig intestine that they're using as breathing tubes, going into some sort of bladder, some breathing bladder. I don't know what it's made out of, but I love.
Sometimes sometimes they're made out of other organic materials. Like we could all imagine that they might fashion a tube with leather or with some type of cloth, if they're using a tube for the device. But the main thing is that it's very, very outlandish an idea that, medieval people would have a bunch of breathing apparatuses similar to gas masks and astronaut helmets. But the concepts that we have tried to kind of employ are, it's believable that humanity put under enough stress and pressure could at least come up with the concepts that we have on our miniatures, by, for example, the concept of having an intestine or like a leather tube going to a breathing device is not made up. There was an actual military force in the medieval ages, who I believe was attacking Turkey because they were swimming through the Black Sea, and they found that they could actually hold their breath underwater for about 10 minutes if they just connected a tube to a sheep's lung, and they were breathing in and out of a sheep's lung. So it let them stay under the water and attack at night.
Cool. Well, I guess we need to back up. I'm very familiar with 1490, but why in the world are they having to wear these breathing devices in 1490?
That's a good
question.
Good question. That was the reason. So when I was thinking, like, why would a knight need to be wearing a space? Did they time travel to the future, or are we going back to the medieval times? And we thought environmental sort of hazard or disaster would force these medieval characters to make these breathing apparatuses or helmets. And so we came up with the idea of this miasma, this poisonous fog that slowly comes from the ground and then rises over the next 5 years to be higher than the height of any man. And so this makes the world feel desperate, and it kills off a lot of people, leaving these doom warriors left to battle over the last remnants of humanity, finding the only respite, if you can call that, in man-made structures. And so the game is based around doom warriors or doom companies going to these man-made structures, castles, towers, to get out of this fog that's killing everyone, to find any resources that may have been left over, and to get out of just to get some high ground and some clean air for a little bit until they're forced to move to the next one. And that's where these battles take place. Yeah, you've got the pictures there to show our terrain.
This is you guys' castle. We've been playing probably a couple times a week. I was supposed to play last night, but it didn't work out teaching new people. But I'd found this actually through Carnivore. That Carnivore popped up on my Facebook feed. Cool dinosaurs, went down that rabbit hole. I said, wait a minute, these guys have another game out there in Track Down 1490, which you finished fulfilling the Kickstarter back in January. So it's a new game. And I guess you guys, this was your first year at Adepticon officially?
It was our first year with a booth, yes. Last year we kind of did it the grim dark way that we're used to, where we were running demos all of Adepticon, but we were just running it in the grim dark hall in a corner.
Sure.
We just kind of did it the scrappy way, but
very unofficial. Wasn't official.
Right.
No,
but
this
was
was
the first year that we were actually a vendor at Adepticon. Yeah.
Well,
and
I was impressed because I know we happened to run into you guys when we were packing in, but every time I went by your booth, and I'd kind of go take a little hitch and go out of my way when I was going to bathrooms back there, you guys were 3-5 people deep the whole time. So that was cool. And I guess you pretty much sold out of everything. And I tell you what, kind of, like I said, I was a fan already. I'd already played a couple times. But after the vendor hall would close, me and Kurt, the guy I was helping out with Miniature Building Authority, would go eat. And we'd come back, we'd go up to the historical up on the 4th floor, and we just walk down and see what we could see. And I believe it was Saturday night. We go up there, and it was empty. And then I look to the left, and I see this. And it was, what y'all have, 20 guys, 30 guys?
Yeah.
And hooping and hollering and just yelling at each other and having a great time, all in a good way. And I look over, and you guys were up against the wall, and I'm like, wow, this is what Adepticon's about. It's about what a game's about. Is this a group of guys? And I take it a lot of these guys really had never played before, or only once or twice, but they didn't care. And I saw and heard they were helping each other. Oh no, you need to do this, or you can do that. And just once again, it made me even more excited. It was just so much fun to watch. And I do that a lot, especially I have a shop and looking for games and watching people play a game. Are they sitting there like this, waiting for the turn? Are they, going at it with each other and, just having fun? And no doubt those guys was having fun. And Cody, I think I talked to you a minute about that. That had to just be incredible feeling for you guys. New game, first time at Adepticon. Now, was that a planned event that y'all had on the schedule?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
We ran a tournament the year before as well, even though we didn't have a booth. And it was an official Adepticon tournament with 10 people rather than 20. And it sold out so quickly that we knew we needed to make more space and more room for folks. So we said, oh, well, we'll double it. That won't sell out instantly. It should give people time. It was sold out in 30 seconds. So now we know we need to run multiple events next time that we go to Adepticon, because we cannot make any more tables. It's so time consuming to make all those castles.
Oh, well, hauling all that terrain around is a pain in the butt.
But it's worth it. And that event really was a testament to, sort of chicken and the egg situation. We're so blessed to have hands down the most gracious, kind, and sportsmanlike community that you could possibly imagine. And I don't know what we did to foster it. I don't know if our rules encourage it. I don't know if those folks just happened to circle around our game and they kind of built the perfect community. But that's what 1490 Doom is like. We've never run into anyone playing 1490 Doom that was any less than the best opponent you could ask for.
Well, I have an idea, Alan. I have an idea why this is fun. I'm so glad you saw that, because we were enjoying just as much as you, seeing them helping each other. The reason this is what I think. I think that maybe because of certain mechanics in the game and the folly of trying to survive, because we know the world ends, that everything is kind of meaningless. And so when you get a chance to push someone from a huge tower, whether it's you getting pushed or them, it's really dramatic and funny. And so those type of mechanics encourage chaos and fun. And so when the choice is like, do I push someone or shoot someone? We always chant push. So the whole crowd, they're just like push. And so always, whatever the most dramatic possible outcome could be, everyone's cheering for that, no matter who wins or loses. And so I think that's what makes this really fun and special.
Oh yeah, I think I'm a big Moonstone player, and I love Moonstone. And for me, they both have that same feel for the community. That you're playing to win, but it's just fun, and they're quick games. I don't say there's not a lot of thought, but it's so fast that even if you have a bad game and you do terrible dice roll or you do something stupid, okay, let's play again. And how many y'all ran? Was it four games in your tournament you had?
So it was officially supposed to be 3, but we found that we gave several awards away for the best hobbyist, for voted who was voted for the most, which could be for sportsmanship or just because people like their Doom company. But the prize for the victorious player normally goes to the person with the best record. But we had a 3-way tie at the end of that tournament. So to resolve that, we told everyone that these particular players lasted until 1495, until after the apocalypse.
They were the last.
Their Doom companies had perished. Only their Doom captains were left. And we as judges deployed each of their Doom captains on the highest level of a board with 1 health left. And we told them, you have 1 health, and the creeping death is up to the top of these towers. If you fall, you die. And so we had this insane sudden death match, where an amazing player guided his blacksmith against a bow, which was hysterical that somebody had a bow and he managed to beat them, and a warrior priest. It was wild.
Boy, my story about the warrior
was
priest.
technically game 4.
That's cool. And that took probably under 3 hours?
It was about a 4-hour event.
Oh, was it 4? I guess because you did that long. But still, that's how long people play a game of 40K here. So, yeah, I'm just saying it's so fast and quick. You talking about the warrior priest? My story is I raced up. I think it was a scavenger. Just jumped up to the top, like turn 5 of the castle. Got the loot. I see him standing up there. I got this. I got it. And yeah, the warrior priest, he kind of lumbered up there last turn and just went book and pushed me off. It was 9 inches. I died instantly and lost the game. So I learned that you don't necessarily want to be the first to the highest. So yeah, that was. But yeah, it's so much. Like I said, every game that we played it's a narrative story. You know, you get the brute. Had a guy. He didn't realize where you put the brute, but it was going to be a long way around to the ladder, and he did the classic, I'm going to scale. No, I'm not. I'm going to scale. 7th turn, he's still on the ground level because he's just standing there looking up. It's like he goes, I won't do that again. But, you know, I probably played at least a dozen games, and each one of them is a little mini story. We're trying to figure out, and I think we're going to do it. We've played several games with 3 people, and it's just more chaos. But we're wanting to go like 5 or 6 people, just do a big table, have more objectives, and really have true chaos. So we're trying to figure out how to, and we're just going to do it. Just I said that's part of the fun of the game. It is the chaos. So we lost
Eric,
you.
We can't hear you.
Eric.
It appears you're muted. Not sure why. No audio.
I have to use sign language.
No, he's probably just gonna call back or hop back in the meeting. Yeah, not sure what's going on there.
Well, while he's there on that, Cody, we have several guys here that's bought the expansions for the solo play, the campaign.
Oh yeah,
I think that's a huge selling point that it plays so well with doing the solo.
Yeah, it's interesting because when designing 1490 Doom, initially it wasn't designed that way at all, but you can thank Eric Robertson here for writing some spectacular lore podcasts for 1490 Doom. Buer Games has, from the start, always been something we wanted to build to be the most immersive way people can interact with a game. So one of the steps we took towards that is that Eric put out essentially a free audiobook series with different stories about, named characters making their way through the world of 1490 Doom. And that's what inspired both of those solo co-op narrative campaigns for 1490
Yeah,
Doom.
those are great. I've listened to them. Those are good stories, though.
Right. And we're glad you enjoy them, but you might have realized that, Wilhelm, being the last knight of Rotenburg, is the star of the fall of Rotenburg, and that Adrian is the star of the Gates of Ren. I developed that entire focus system for both of those books to guide the enemies that you fight against, and give them their roles and purposes so that they can function on their own. just specifically for those books to make that work, so that people could engage either solo or cooperatively with the world of 1490 Doom and kind of go on an adventure in that way.
Are you back, Eric?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. Yep.
Sweet.
Perfect.
Uh-oh. You need to go check, Cody. I'll talk to Eric for a second. No, I understand that daddy call.
Yeah, both dads.
Yep. So we were talking about the expansions. I guess with that, I mean, you guys got a complete game, but to me, I'm sure I'm not the only one, is, man, y'all could do so much more with 1490. So what do y'all have planned out?
Yeah, this is a great question. It's a blessing and a curse because there is unlimited possibilities, because currently the theater of the game is only in Europe, but the creeping death, it's probably affecting the whole world. Yeah, it's probably affecting everywhere. We have a lot of ideas in development and things coming out, but that we want to explore different cultures, different locations as well. So all in good time. We want to actually let this breathe a little bit. We don't want to just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. In the next little while, we'll see some. We're working on like a starter box where we're working on some things so more people can just get into the game. And then as the footprint of the game gets bigger, then we will do more. Culture, like sense. more releases on the high end level, so people who are already in can easily adapt. Instead of giving that, we want to make the base easy to get into. And so that's our goal for this year. But we will have some more releases this year with I'm not going to say what they are yet, but things that will just make it really cool. I think I'm really excited about it, and I've learned that if the creators of something are really excited, usually people can feel that excitement and get into it. So we're stoked on some of the things coming down this year.
Well, I just ordered a bunch for the shop. You've done the packs for 3 guys.
Yes.
So people don't, because that's, especially, I'm challenged as a shopper. I love the game and stuff, but people go, well, what should I get? I'm like, whatever you think's cool, but they want more than that,
Yeah.
And but when you can just take something off the shelf and go, try this, it sells itself. And
that's
that can sell itself. It makes my job easier. So,
that's exactly why we worked with a developer recently to actually create a 1490 Doom quiz that's connected to those boxes that come with a pre-built Doom company.
Yeah.
So that people like yourself that have a friendly local gaming store, if you're posed with the question, then you don't have to answer it. You're going to be in a position where, actually, if you just take this quiz at 1490doom.com, then it will give you a Doom company based on your personality and your play style.
And I've been writing some notes. I'm going to put some links to some of the stuff that we talked about in the comments when we're done. But we had a guy play last weekend, and he's already inviting friends to come and play. And like I said, it's such an easy game to teach. I printed out. My cards are pretty good size because I'm old and can't see. But you give them a card. I've got a cheat sheet that's, I think someone got it off Facebook. But anyway, you got 5 stats. You got a couple keywords. Play. And once again, I had a few people that said, well, I said, no, let's just play, because we're going to get finished. Then we'll play another game, and we can, work through what you didn't understand after the first game, and we'll still be done in an hour,
Yeah.
So that I've learned with 1490, just play, just get on the table. I don't care if you don't understand or you screw up. This is truly a learning game. And I've always said, well, if you don't like it, we won't play, but that everybody's wanting to play that second game because now I get it. And So
I'm so glad that you that you pointed that out because I guess it seems it's not a unique experience. We work with a painter that a lot of folks know as Malev Minis, and me and him have been friends for like a decade, and it's really odd because we both kind of diverged and built careers within this space independently of each other without really being in contact. But once we got our game on the ground, I knew that Malev had to be the person to paint it. But his remark about 1490 Doom was very similar. He's a games designer as well. He made Demon Ship and Pit Lord and Great Hound.
Oh yeah,
a lot of great games, and also very small scale games, strangely enough.
Yep.
So he understands 1490 Doom's scale. And after playing it, he said, this is going to sound like a dig, but it's a compliment. The best thing about 1490 Doom is you can play it.
Yeah, no,
it's odd, but he's like, as much as we all love Warhammer, it's not exactly something that you can just play. You can't.
No,
often you can't just. There are ways you can. I think that their kind of spearhead combat patrol system they came up with is really neat, and that's a really good entry point. But the game in general, like if you want to play the actual Warhammer experience that we all know, the amount of time you put into playing an entire first game of 1490 Doom is the same amount of time you need to invest just to build a list.
Yes.
And then you don't even know how to play the game yet at that point. So it seems that experience is not unique, and good. I'm glad. I'm really glad.
I've got, and I'll show a picture again. This is my setup. I've got pretty much most of the miniatures painted, and I've got this in 4 pieces, so it's on the shelf. Someone's, I want to play. Okay, you give me 5 minutes, and we're set up and we're playing in 5 minutes. So, and
do you know what? I don't think we've even mentioned this whole. I don't think we've mentioned this whole interview what you need to play. We haven't even talked about the scope of what is required. So anyone listening, the reason or why this might sound like unbelievable is because it's so easy to get into. You need 3 models. You can get ours, or you can make your own, or you can get whatever you want. You get 3 models, and you need a tower or some piece of terrain like Alan's showing here. You need some D6 dice, just a couple. You don't need that many, and you really can go. You could, if you don't have little miniature ladders. The ladders are cool to have, but you don't have to have. You can just say there's a ladder here. You don't have to have the resource caches. You need 3, maybe 4 per game. You could have a little piece of paper to make this. So it really is. You could have a couple of soup cans, a couple of random minis, and you could play with someone. That's how easy it is to get into the game.
Yeah, and in addition to that, not to mention, it's played on a 2-foot circle. Obviously circular board's a little bit odd for a war game, but a 2-foot circle is the standard size for a coffee table. You don't need to have, a gargantuan, boutique gaming board in order to get started. If you want to play 1490 Doom in Starbucks, you can play in Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Once again, it's just so easy because people ask about playing games like, okay, can you come back in 30 minutes? Because like you said, I got to set the table up, do a list, not, and it's just like I said, we'll be done with 1490 by the time you could even start another game. What was there anything else I wanted? That's probably. I mean, I think I've got more questions than definitely when I started, but like I said, we could talk all day. But I go back to where I started my intro is Carnivore popped up on my Facebook. I went, dinosaurs, this is cool. And went down that road, and I know I'm good friends from the guys with Black Sat Studio, and they had their game out, but that was a movie. You're playing a movie, which is cool and stuff. But when I saw a dinosaur on dinosaur, and like I said, then I mentioned I went and down the other hole and found 1490, but Carnivore let's talk about just a couple minutes. Is the late pledge still going?
Yeah, so we actually just opened the pledge manager this week, and people can still get in on Carnivore during the pledge manager. We still allow for new pledges, but that will run until May 31st. So they have until the end of May to get in on the game found if they want, which is the cheapest way to get the game, obviously, because it's a campaign, or it's a crowdfunding campaign, and we're giving you a discount in exchange for the fact that you're going to be waiting to most likely until October to get the products. But you may have noticed him mention dinosaurs. So should probably explain what the game is. No, Carnivore is not just about like lions and bears. Oh my! It's a game that takes place in the Mesozoic era that focuses on extinction events that have happened to dinosaurs ad nauseum. There obviously was the meteorite that made most dinosaurs extinct and turned the rest into birds. But there was a lot of other extinction events that happened as well. And during those times, a very rare but a very awful thing can happen in certain ecosystems. The predators actually end up outnumbering the herbivores, which is a recipe for extinction and starvation for many species. But you play as predators. If, for example, me and Eric were playing a game, we might both have different species of predatory or carnivorous dinosaurs. But we are forced not only to hunt the same kind of herbivores, but literally the same herd of herbivores. So it's kind of like a player versus environment versus player type game, but the sculpts are as close as we could get to paleo plausible dinosaurs. And there's the game's very different from like We Played God, as you mentioned, by Blacksite, which is a stellar game, but is kind of a Jurassic Park clone, as most games are. Most dinosaur games that you run into have dinosaurs in a park, or dinosaurs in Vietnam, or dinosaurs in cavemen, and all of that is really cool. But I've always, I'm a dino obsessed 8-year-old kid at heart still, and I've always just wanted to have a game where we could be the dinosaurs themselves. And I've always loved war games, so that's why I have the focus there.
Well, I thought I had some pictures loaded from your table at Adepticon, but that was the one. Once again, I couldn't get close to it because people get excited about it.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
I didn't know about the scale because I saw you guys' videos, I've seen pictures, but actually see them in person. I really, like I said, I didn't know about the scale. Really, really did like the scale. And once again, you're playing on what, a 2x2, 3x3? What's a small
a 3x3? I had a 2x2 at Adepticon because we recommend that people play with half-sized herds and packs when you're learning the game. But when you play the full experience, it's on a 3x3. And yeah, we went with close to 28, 32 millimeter scale, particularly because the scale is a big part of what I find neat about dinosaurs. That is never it's not really consistent when you buy miniatures or figures in other places. Generally, if you buy dinosaur miniatures or figures, they'll scale up the small models a lot and scale down the big models a lot so that they can all kind of be the same size on a shelf, which is great, and it's beautiful for collectors. But I wanted that visceral experience of looking down at the board and actually seeing just how much a T-Rex dwarfs a Velociraptor. That they really are like the size of a dog, and a T-Rex is like the length of a bus. So seeing that in person, in the miniature scales, I think it is a big part of the appeal of the experience. And So making them around 28 or 32 millimeter also allows people, when they drop these minis on their shelf, to go, oh, whoa, holy crap, that is actually how big proportionately a T-Rex is to an Imperial Guardsman. Yeah.
Well, all cool. Well, I guess we're 35 minutes here, and I could talk with you guys all day, but I know you guys got things to do, and I got things to do. So, is there anything else that after we've been talking that you want to add, or you talked about you got more 1490 Doom, you got Carnivore coming out. You guys are busy.
Yeah, it's too busy. I would say this, Alan, because we have a hard out with a call at 10. But I would say the main appeal for me in this game is it is fun to play the games, but part of what sets Buer games apart is immersion. So we'll have audiobooks, we will have custom soundtracks, and our YouTube channel, we spend a ton of time on the videos and effort to really make it immersive. And so if you really want to have fun and escape, there's a lot of stuff that we offer to help you go into these worlds to want to explore those. So I would encourage anyone to just check out our YouTube channel or search podcast for 1490 Doom and enjoy the stories and music.
Well, cool. Well, I'll let you guys go. I appreciate your time.
Appreciate you, man.
And we'll be doing some demos at Richmond Open here, not this weekend, but the following weekend. So,
hey, Alan, if you have our stuff on your shelves, take pictures and send it to us, and I will promote you and send people to your store.
Okay.
So take pictures of our stuff on your channel or in your store.
So,
okay.
Okay. You guys got to run. I appreciate you. Okay.
Thanks so much, man.
See you, man.
We really appreciate it.
Take care.